Okay, guys, today I'll be showing you how to install Xampp and create your first PHP file. Okay, so I will also be showing you some of the basic stuff that you need to learn when using PHP MySQL. So this is more of just like a tool tutorial. Okay, so the very first thing that we need to do is we need to install Xampp in your or in our local computer. So um, you can actually search for it in Google, Xampp. Okay, or if you want, you can type apachefriends.org. Okay, and you will be redirected to this particular page. So you have your download Xampp for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. So if you're using Mac OS, you can download it here. So if you're using also Windows, uh, I actually don't think some of you guys are using Linux, but just in case you're using Linux, you can download it here. But I think majority of us uses Windows. So all you have to do is just again click this particular link. Then you will be asked um, wait, you will be asked to download or save a file. So it's Xampp Windows x64. Just click save. Okay, let's try to wait first. Now, once you're done downloading the file, all you have to do again, all you have to do is just install it. Okay. In my case, I'm still downloading the file. So now, by default, your Xampp can be found, or once you're done with the installation, by default, you can actually see it in your drive C. Okay. So let me try to show you. This is where your Xampp is. It's under your C, then you have Xampp. By default, that's where Xampp will install the files or its set of files. Okay, so let's try to open, and this is all of our installation files. Now, if you want to run it already, or if you want to check it if it's properly installed, just look for Xampp control. Okay, let me first try to change my view. You have your Xampp control.exe. Double click. All you have to do is just double click. To open. Let's try to wait. The machine's a little bit slow today. Okay, so we have here the different modules. So if you want to run your Apache, your Apache, by the way, is the server that we will be using. So it's again bundled in an Xampp. So all you have to do is click start. Okay. Then you also have MySQL. Then all you have to do is click start. So the server that we will be using is Apache, and the database that we will be using is MySQL. Okay. So let's try this time to check if MySQL is running properly. Okay, let's go back to our browser. All you have to do is just type localhost, then php myadmin. Okay, this is your default php myadmin. Okay, so as you've noticed, I have successfully installed Xampp on my computer. or MySQL with that is bundled in Xampp into my computer. It's successfully installed. Okay, so now let's try to create our very first HTML file. Okay, let's go first. Let's go back to our Explorer. Okay, let's go back to our Xampp. Now I'm going to tile list. Okay, no details. Okay, so try to look for a folder called htdocs. Okay, then try to double click, try to open. Okay, so let's try to create another folder. Right click, then you have your new folder. Then let's try to rename it as our activities. Okay. Okay. Next, let's go back to our browser, Firefox. Now, can you see it by the, as you've noticed, I have here 8181. So why do I have 8181? And I think in your case, you don't have 8181 for your localhost. This is actually a port number. Okay. I use 8181 since by default it's 80. It's port 80. So in my case, I changed it to 8181 because there's another application that uses the same port as your HTTP port. So there's a conflict between both ports. Okay, so I think the application actually is Skype. So that's why I changed it to 8181. Now, just in case you want it also to change your port number, let me just try to show you. Okay, let's go to our Xampp control. Okay, then you have here config. Then try to look for HTTP. Try to click config. Then your httpd.conf will appear. Okay, let me try to show you my configuration file. Okay, so this is already my configuration file or Apache configuration file. So let's try to look. Okay, now can you see here? Listen to 8181. It's by default. By default, it's I think it's port 80. So I just changed it to 8181. Then now, when you try to type, you can do something like localhost colon 8080 then slash, or 8181 then slash. Then that's it. Okay. So let's say, for example, you already made some changes. Just close the file. Okay. Then try to try to stop and restart your Apache web server. Okay. No, that's it. Now going back to our Explorer. Okay. Now, as you've noticed, I already created a file, a folder called activities. Okay, so I'm going to open. Then I'm going to create a PHP file called, let's try to call this one as php_01 for its file extension, PHP. Take note, by the way, that your PHP file, that the extension of your PHP file should always be .php. Okay. If your computer asks you to change its file extension, just click yes. Then the icon will also change. Now, I'll just be using Notepad++ for editing. Okay, so all I have to do again is right click, then open with Notepad or edit with Notepad++. Okay, so let's try to open my Notepad++. Okay, so this is it. Now, take note also that if you're using .php, it should always be inside your delimiter. So this is called your delimiter. Okay. Then echo hello world. Okay. So let's try to run. File. Go back to Firefox. Okay. Now all we have to do is just change this folder of PHP admin, then activities. Okay. Now this is the list of all of the files under our activities folder. Then click this particular file. Hello world. Okay. So we've already created our very first PHP file. Okay, so thank you very much guys for listening.